How many years have we been doing that?
For a while.
It's
It's been a hot
happening for
minute.
a while now. We're such
Woo.
nerds.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of nerd, I may I'm hoping to buy one of my Nerdtacular plane tickets soon.
Woohoo!
That would be fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be awesome. I'm yeah, I was just looking at the hotels at Anaheim just to see what they're looking at right now for BlizzCon.
Ridiculous.
It's
This is still
bad.
a ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, I need to get mine sorted because I think gonna room with some friends after all instead of the big house thing.
Yeah. Like instead of the house you do a hotel room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. Just got to get it ironed out because there's a couple, with Uber and stuff. It's actually not that bad to take a hotel not far, that's kind of far away.
Yeah, I mean it's the number of times like I think it's the hardest thing is like when you get your goodie bags and like you want to take it back to
Yeah,
your room and then if you're far away it's just kind of a hassle to like you don't want to drag it around with you and then
yeah.
so
That's why you make friends with people who stay at the Hilton.
right. You're
Like,
like
hey,
can I
can I
just store
stick
this
this?
here
Yeah, I just put my name on it, put it in the corner by the ironing board.
and then we just go with that. Hi chat room, how are you today? Hi,
Hello,
happy Thursday. Oh, I had a tweet. I gotta make sure I tweet.
Zafira, Zafira.
I don't know why I've never done that in my brain, and now I will always do that in my brain.
Yeah, it just came to me.
It makes perfect
So
sense.
yeah, yes, yes.
That is the best. So I have been. I was fine all day, and then I went outside to. I went out to run a couple errands. I had to go to the pharmacy and pick up a prescription and stuff. And then I was on my way home, or actually, I was on my way to my next stop, and my stomach went just not happy, and my head started to
Uh-oh.
pound, and I'm like, oh crap, that's a migraine, and oh no no
Oh
no no
no.
no. So and it came out of nowhere. So I came home. I hit the Advil. I went immediately laid down. Garrus laid next to me, and I wound up falling asleep for about an hour, and then woke up, and I'm like,
Man.
okay, the pain is not crazy bad, but it's like because I didn't take the migraine medication, so I could stay more alert. It's just kind of sitting there. It's just like
Yeah.
it sits on the back end. It sits behind everything, and it's just like I'm going to remind you that I still exist, and I may want to so I'll be fine until I make it after the show, and then it's kind of a crapshoot of whether I will not get it or I will get it after the show.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's the same kind of one that I got when we went to PAX. And when we were staying with Tony and Holiday, and I just all of a sudden it was just like, oh god,
Yeah.
so it's not bad
Oh
enough to
man.
require medication, and I could battle it back, but I hate migraines. I hate them. They
Oh
are the
man.
worst.
Yeah. I don't get them as much anymore since I don't because it was when I would overstress myself playing DDR that I would get migraines and I'd
Yeah.
go blind in my left eye.
Oof.
Yeah, left eye for a couple hours, and then it would just be like ah,
Yeah,
because my head
exactly.
didn't hurt. Like when I was my vision was impaired, it didn't hurt at all.
Right.
And it was like, hey, I can see again. Mac truck, just like
Yeah.
back and rolls over my
Yeah.
over my
Yeah.
head.
And it's like and there's just they're weird. Like sometimes I'll it'll just like you can tell it's starting to come on. This one was just like right
Mhm.
there. And it came out of with no warning. I was literally in the car. I was like trying to drive around on a beautiful sunny day. So who
Mm.
the heck knows, man? I got to power through.
Yes,
I go power through.
we will get it. We will get through this.
Yes, yes we will. Boy, it's been a week. My goodness. I feel like this week has just been like I have been through the fire and I have come out the other side. Last night we were getting ready for raid and putting the team together, and all day I was just like, I don't have the energy to do this. I don't have the energy to do this. It has been, and there's been a lot going on this week, and some of it hasn't been so much fun. And so I was just like, we got to the raid time and I was just like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I just have to go to bed. I'm so tired. And I did. Like, after I just left and I was like, I'm in my pajamas in bed. I watched a show and then I was out. It's like, I'm just done.
Yeah, and we sped through the whole raid.
Just
just steamrolled over it. I got a few pieces of gear on my paladin, so that was nice.
Oh, nice, excellent.
But yeah, and it was pretty much straightforward. In fact, there were a couple of times I almost started to nod off during the fight because I didn't have to worry about anything because we were just steamrolling it.
Like,
I was sitting there on like bot. Yeah, and I was on botanist, and I'm melee, so I'm just sitting there or just rolling my hand over the keyboard, doing my rotation. And I'm just like, dunk, and just like headbutt the mic or something, and we go, oh, okay, I guess I better wake up.
Right.
We're still raiding?
Wait, we're still
What's
here?
going on?
That's awesome. I have no idea what Spike is doing over there, by the way. You can see his butt poking out there.
Yeah. To see his tail.
Marconi can see Spike on a different camera than me, so then the one that I have pointed to the stream is a camera just he sees so he can see me, but it's pointed to the side of my room. Are you going down the stairs, dude? I don't know.
I'm thinking about it.
He is thinking about it. He's such a lump. He's going down. Bye, buddy.
And the tail. Flick.
It's still flicking.
And
nope, he's
on
the top stair.
There's the tip of the tail. I can still see it. And
he's on the top of the stair.
Oh, there's his head. He turned back around.
Dummy dumb. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, he's sharpening his... Hey! Don't be doing that.
Like what, Mom?
Sharpening his claw with the stair.
Yeah. Yeah, Mehmet, is this your first cat? Or have you had cats before? I can't remember. Because if so, I mean, like...
Get used to the butt licking.
Yeah. And then they'll lick your face right after that, too. And you just got to forget that they just licked their butt. It's better if you just forget and enjoy the... over a decade ago. I gotcha. Yeah. Man, that has been a long time.
Yeah.
Welcome back to cat dadness.
They are awesome, and they are a pain in the butt sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Too funny. I should test to make sure you guys can hear the sound. Let me get the box with the stuff. Hey! What the hell are you doing, dude? He is like ripping that stair up. Hey! Come here. No wonder. It's like he's been ripping that stair. I know, right? I'm like hearing the...
Oh, yeah. Don't need that.
I don't. I live in an apartment. Don't rip up my stairs because I'm gonna have to pay for that. Don't do that.
They released those.
All right, Sounders.
The second wave of Overwatch Funkos this week.
Oh yeah.
And I bought some last week, or I got my exclusives in, and I got the message today that my Reinhardt exclusive from Best Buy shipped. Mm-hmm. So I should get it maybe Saturday.
Nice.
Maybe. So that'd be cool. So he'll be hanging out somewhere back here. I'm running out of room.
You need more shelving space.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm waiting for the exclusive Diva and Farah to come at the gear store because I need it.
Let's try this one.
Call your mother.
Call your mother.
I can hear it over here.
Good deal. And then you, mister, need to go lay down. Go lay down. He's been kind of a butt today.
Oh, yeah. Mother called.
Mother called.
I called my mother yesterday.
Did ya?
She butt dialed me, so I called her back.
I talked to Mom and Papa Jules yesterday too. I was on Skype with them yesterday. Yep.
Very cool.
It was Parent Day apparently. What Funko do I have? This is Tracer. It's my Tracer one. Yeah. Tracer with Ganymede on top. I like the one. I have a total of 4 in my house. I have there's Tracer. You can see her. Behind me I have a She-Ra one, I have an Illidan one, and I have the Mass Effect Garrus one. So those are the ones I've got.
Don't ask me which ones I've got. It'll take a lot.
It'll take a lot longer.
I really do like. I love the USA McCree that they got, and then the Hot Topic May, because it actually has the little snowball robot like doing a blizzard next to her instead of just May standing there.
Nice.
So it's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
It's cool that they added it.
All right, chat room.
Yeah, I need to play Mass Effect one day.
Yes,
I've never played any of them.
We're ready check you guys.
Ready check.
Are you all ready? Hi, Bim.
Ready to rock. Hey, Timer.
Hi, Tiber. Hi, Draven. We all ready to rock. You need gems and food and flasks, and your gear's broken and summons. Hi, Felix.
And my
Felix,
bonus rolls. Dang it.
I need my coins. All right, you folks. Wrong spec.
Wrong spec.
I'm on the wrong tune. Let me log out.
How are you going to heal as Beastmaster?
I locked myself out of this raid, guys. I can't find the raid opening. Where am I supposed to go?
What raid is this?
What expansion am I in?
I logged on my Horde tune. I'll be right back. I'm sorry. Wrong faction. I got to reforge.
Oh, God. That you got locked out? Which one, Draven? I said a few of those. That you got locked out. I've been on raids with people who are like, yeah, I could come. I can fill your extra spot, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, oh, God, guys.
Oh, I forgot. I did this yesterday.
I'm locked out. I'm like, oh, when did you do it? Yesterday. How can you not remember you did that yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Whoops.
All right, you guys. Let's do this thing. Because you guys are all busy reforging and summoning and all that stuff. We're going to leave you behind and pull this raid in. Are you ready, by the way?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. We're going to pull this raid in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 229 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, May 4th of 2017. May the 4th be with you. It is 8:12 in the PM. My name is Jules, and I am joined by the lovely, talented, currently not quite, no, he's not jobless, he's transitioning from Sith to Jedi. It's Mark Onan.
Happy Star Wars Day, Jules.
I'm reaching a little bit. I was trying to like weave it in there and I did a bad job.
Yeah, technically I am unemployed until Tuesday. I mean, I'm still in the system, but I have no hours.
You have
like
no
I looked at my
hours?
schedule and it's blank. It's like I don't work next week. But yeah, I start back on Tuesday. That's the cool thing though. The schedules between what I was working this week and next week, the two different jobs line up to give me a 4-day weekend. So I'm done until Tuesday, and it's awesome.
Yay!
I will sleep a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
Yes. And
Guys,
we're still,
I'm tired. Okay, I just want to sleep for 4 days.
I know. We still have a lot of work to do because I posted about it on Twitter, but our house flooded on Sunday, early Sunday morning.
Yeah, tell us about what happened.
Yeah, so we had a big storm come through Arkansas. Of course, it is the spring, and that means tornadoes. Yeah. Tornado season. And so it's like midnight, and I go to bed, and I am like almost fully clothed. I have like gym shorts and shirt on because I'm like something's gonna happen, so I need to be ready to go because like I was afraid like a tornado might hit or something. So you got to be ready to go.
Yeah, you do.
And then for some reason I decided to get up like maybe 12:15 in the morning and just get up, and I look and I check on our back porch because I live on the backside of a hill. And our backyard faces the hill, and water just flows down that way. And it's flooded a little bit before in the past. Mm-hmm. And with as much rain as we were getting, I was like, something's not right. And I look, and the back porch is where our outside cat is, and her food and water bowl are floating towards the house because they got water under them, and they're just sitting there floating like it would in a bathtub. So I looked, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then so I was like, okay, well that's not bad. It's not in the house yet. And then I go do something. I come back through and I look, and that's the water just starts rushing in, into our dining room. And so I was up till almost 4:00 cleaning it up because it came in, and it was maybe a half inch of water came in through the dining room, almost out the front door, like through the dining room and the front room, almost out the front door. It was like a foot away from the front door.
Wow!
And it also completely flooded our laundry room because it has a door that goes into the back porch area as well. So I spent a few hours mopping up the floor. Like we threw every towel in the house on the floor, and like bed sheets, pillowcases, anything that could absorb any amount of water, and kind of, impromptu sandbag to keep the whole rest of the house from flooding. And we're still working on it. We've had I completely cleaned out the laundry room. It's also a storage area, so we had I had boxes and stuff. And we're just using it as an opportunity for spring cleaning and reorganizing everything. So that's probably what I'll do with most of my weekend, is kind of keep recovering from it. So
and at the same time, you had no power either, right? The power had gone out.
Yeah. The power went out shortly after it started flooding, and it was out until maybe 9 or 10 a.m. the next morning. On top of that, we had trees down all around the neighborhood. Like almost every road that went into our neighborhood had a gigantic tree just all the way over on it. And I put some pictures online on Twitter of some of the destruction, but all the trees fall the same direction. Every tree I saw fell facing the northeast. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking if it wasn't like a minor tornado, it was probably really strong straight line winds. Yep. Just whoosh, going after it and just knocking over trees. And thank goodness we actually got a tree out of our backyard not 2 weeks ago. It was an old tree. It was the one that fell on my house and took out our internet and power for like a day or two.
Right.
And so that was just one of the branches fell. And so we ended up taking the entire tree out like a week and a half ago.
Wow.
And I'm very thankful we did, because that would have fallen straight on the middle of the house.
Yes, it would have. And those trees that went down were not small trees. They were uprooted. It was big, established trees going on people's homes.
Oh, yeah.
That one that trees, went right to the center of that person. Tree. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were huge old trees, and the wind and the weather got the best of them. Yeah. And so, so I'll be doing a lot of recovery and cleanup this weekend, because it's been my last week was a heck of a week, a lot of long hours. They're just making sure they're taking care of it at the store I'm at. So they're a little scared to not have me there next week, but
I'm sure.
It was fine, and I'll still go in there from time to time. It's not too far away.
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
But yeah,
not awesome for the whole, having to clean up the flooding and everything, but the new job at least is something to look forward to.
yeah, and so it's a minor thing, and I mean, it could have been a whole lot worse. We could have had a car, not a car on our house. We could have had a car on our house if there was a tornado,
Right?
but at least it's not a tree on the house
Exactly.
or anything as bad as it was. So we were very lucky and very fortunate that that's all it was.
Good.
So yeah, that I've had quite an eventful week. What about you, Jules?
Well, it's been a busy week for me as well. We had a meetup on Saturday with
That's
folks
right.
so folks from the Minneapolis area. Our friends Evilani and Major Death came in from Fargo, and so they stayed overnight. And we had a really fun time. It was a good time to see. We had about 15 people or so that showed up. Got to see some old friends I haven't seen for a while, and some regulars and someone new that we've never met before. So it was really very
Nice.
cool to have them get together, and and so we spent it was the entire day. I think I went over to Pat's house by 1:00, and the meetup started at 2:00, and then we spent more time after the meetup. I was at Pat's house because of the puppy. The puppy is so cute. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. And she's so fun, and she loves people, and she loves to climb up on people's laps. And so he just got a new puppy 2 weeks ago, and she is the cutest thing. So I didn't get home until it was probably close to 9:30, 10 o'clock. And I had eaten and drank all of this bad for me food. It was really, really good, but it was bad for me.
Oh yeah.
So I had gone to bed. I was pretty tired. And my stomach woke me up at 2 a.m. and said, "You are not sleeping."
Yeah.
Look
what you did to me.
I was so sick. I was just and it was just not throwing up or anything. I was just oh my gosh, I don't feel good, because I've been eating pretty darn healthy about 80% of the time now. And so I really overindulged, and my body went, "You are dumb." So I mean, the good thing, the good thing about eating healthy as I have been is that I've been slowly losing weight, but I paid the piper on that one, because I was just beer and fried food and popcorn and pizza and it's stuff I don't eat.
all the major food groups.
Exactly. So we had a blast. It has been a really busy week. The good news is that my mortgage application has been officially approved. The bank wants to give me money, so I'm yes. So everything is moving forward. I'm closing on June 9th for my new place.
Sweet.
And so everything is cruising forward with that. Very excited. I'm still debating on when I'm going to move, because I don't have to. I have my lease until the end of July at this place that I'm in right now. And right in the middle of all that, we're going to Nerdtacular at the end of June. And so I'm trying to figure out where is the best time for me to move, because we come back from Nerdtacular, it's the 4th of July holiday, which means I'm not moving after that. And then it's, middle of July, and it's hot, and I don't really necessarily relish moving in the super hot, but I'm thinking about the cats and, moving them as well, because it's a big transition for them as well. And they've already moved twice in the last 18 months. So yeah, it's been tough. I'm I don't know what to do. So I still haven't decided when I'm actually moving yet. It would be nice if I could just figure it out, and I can't. So, we're also really hard at work for the kickoff for our fundraising for the CTR party, BlizzCon. And currently we are running a campaign for those who were at BlizzCon in 2014 and remember our legacy of Kinsman. There is a shirt out there on teespring.com, teespring.com/Kinsman. If you remember that epic night of our dear friend Sushi, who raised his glass at the Hilton Hotel bar and yelled, "For the Alliance, Kinsman, will you rise with me?" Not everybody remembers this. I do. Marconin does, because we were both there.
Yeah, I think I had just missed it because I was outside. I didn't actually hear it, but it was like right then.
It was right then.
So yeah, and I remember the video too. So I have seen it.
It's a fun little meme. We're really hitting the nostalgia bug this year, guys, because it's our 5-year anniversary of the party and the guild as well. So Kickstarter is coming in a few weeks, and we are hard at work at getting all of that rolled out. And I'm so excited for you guys to see what we've been working on because it's pretty darn exciting. Anyway, that's the news of the stuff that's been happening in our lives. And we have a discussion topic tonight to hit as well, right? We do.
Yes, we do.
I think this one's going to be a good one. Let's just jump right in. Let's do it.
Let's kick around some ideas, not gnomes.
Poor gnomey gnome. Poor gnome.
Mm-hmm. Every week.
So, every week I'm going to paste. We have an article that we're going to talk about. I'm going to paste that lovely thing into our chat room right now. And you guys may have seen this on Twitter being shared around. Conan and I talked about it after I saw the article and I shared it on social media. And we were like, yeah, we should talk about this because I think that there's a lot of relevancy, especially for our community. It's an article from Kotaku.com. And it kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody really saw this coming. It's a very in-depth study and evaluation called "When Fans Take Their Love for Twitch Streamers Too Far."
Mm-hmm.
The article it's a really good read. I will be putting this in the show notes, so you'll be able to link from it when the show notes to be able to read that. It does focus on Twitch streamers as the topic, but it is something that translates to content creators in general. And it's sobering. There's a section in this article. It kind of focuses on a streamer named Elheim, and a fan who came from Singapore. A young man, about 19 years old, fan from Singapore, just showed up on his doorstep one day, uninvited, and wanted to stay with him because he was in a bad mental state. He bought a one-way ticket and thought that his favorite streamer would make his life better, and it's kind of scary. So I read this and I was just like, it took me back a bit because I have stories from stuff like this. And then I was like, I'm actually going to tell one on the show this evening. It's not right at this moment, but I will. But it's stuff that we don't talk about, right? Marconi, it doesn't really get talked about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it kind of, to me, it reminds me of like, it's just the way you view and the attachment you get to people through not social media necessarily, but just through all media. You get attached to people and personalities, and you think you know them because you spend a lot of time with them, and so you get really comfy with the idea of being around them and talking to them, and then some people they go too far.
Yeah,
and it's it can be a very sobering experience, not only for the fan, but also for the streamer.
Right.
Because just like, I would imagine if somebody flew from, where was he from? The Philippines somewhere?
It was in Singapore. I want to say, I keep saying Singapore, but I might be wrong.
Yeah.
It is
someone
Singapore.
Someone flew halfway across the planet to your doorstep to stay the night with you.
Uninvited,
someone you've never met.
Though. Uninvited.
Uninvited, that you didn't know about.
Yeah.
And that's not only a sobering thing to get turned down by him, but also especially for the streamer.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just put my kid to bed, and here is this stranger from across the planet that wants to stay with me. Nah, that's not going to fly.
Yeah.
It's like, how did you know? How did you find out all this information? How did you know this? Like, what? Who did you have to pay at Google to get my information? That kind of a thing.
Right. And because that stuff, what happens a lot of times, and this is an interesting scenario, and one that, as content creators, we don't really talk about this stuff a lot. but it's something that happens, and it's something that is always it's always there as a possibility and even a threat. Because when you go on a show or a Twitch stream and you're sharing your life with other people, you are sharing personal stuff about yourselves. I mean, for us, we share stuff about, I'm talking about buying a house, and Marcona's talking about changing his job, and you're learning things about our personal lives that we're sharing as part of it, and we freely share that information as part of making the show. And
it does go through a filter, though.
It does, but there's a sense of understanding and knowledge. I know that when I first started listening to podcasts, of my friend Scott Johnson of all people, he was someone that I aspired to be like. He's so very personable and open about his life, his family. His kids' names, his family, his wife's name, his pets, you know what's going on with their lives. You feel like you're a part of his world. And it brings a connection, a comfort level, a feeling of familiarity. But Marcona, I know that we've talked about this before on the show. Like, we've gone to public events like BlizzCon or Tacular, and someone has come up to us that we've never met before, and they've listened to the show and told us how much they've enjoyed the show. And then they start asking us questions about things that we've spoken about on the show. And it gets a little jarring because you're like, I don't have that same knowledge of you, and it feels unbalanced.
Yeah.
Uneven.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's no fault of the other person's.
No.
It's just the nature of how, the media we're doing right now, if you're not in the chat room, it's one way. It's from us to you. There's no real-time feedback. So, listeners aren't contributing directly. So that's why it's why you know more about us than we know about you.
Yeah. It takes a moment for us to be like, because when people say, ask me about my cats, like I've mentioned their names, I've told their stories, it's not unfamiliar things. But when I've not met someone before and I know nothing about them and they know a lot about me, it's a little weird. It is.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
But that's when I turn it into an expedition to learn more about the other person.
Right.
So, like, for instance, if they ask me how my cats are doing, I'm like, oh, yeah, they're doing fine. Do you have any pets?
Yeah.
If I don't know them already, it's like, so what? Do you have any cats or dogs or zebras or orangutans or whatever animal? Do you have any pets? I don't know.
I've got 5 orangutans. I don't know. It's 95% of interactions that we've ever had with people have been wonderful. But the transactional difference of when you're a podcaster or a content creator and there's someone who listens to your shows and they find out a lot about you, like, we are familiar with all of the folks that are in our chat room tonight. We know these people. They're here every week. We know them. I recognize your name in the chat room and whatever you share in our chat room. But some of them I've never seen face to face. I've never laid eyes on them before. And they see my face. They're watching me right now. They see how I react to things. They see what makes me laugh, and they see what, my screen looks like behind me, my room, your room. And so it's an interesting thing. And, like I said, 95% of the people who listen to these, like, they understand what the boundaries are.
Yeah, they do. But it's that little fringe that makes the headlines and makes Kotaku articles.
Yeah. You guys got to read this article because it will kind of really open your eyes to stuff.
Yeah. It's a really good read, and it really brings it to the forefront, that, Twitch streamers are, they are celebrities in that sense. They, especially if they do consistent streaming and you're always in there, they're in your living room, they're in your bedroom, they're wherever you're watching them. And so you get this sense of intimacy and familiarity and camaraderie that's all one-sided.
Yeah.
And then it can turn into a whole host of things.
Yeah.
Because, the age of the internet means you can find out a lot of information about people.
Yes.
If you know how to look, where to look, who to ask.
That's right.
And then, even if you get to that point, you could say, okay, should I do something?
Yeah.
Should I do this? Because yeah, I mean, I know Jules's address and like I've never been to her house, but before she moved, when she was in Wisconsin. But out of curiosity, one day I went to Google Maps and I plunked myself right down on the street. And I was like, oh, so that's what her house looks like.
Right.
Now, am I going to drive there uninvited and be like, oh, hi, Jules, hey, even though she knows me, I'm not going to do that because that's creepy.
Yeah. It would be creepy, even if it's a friend, like showing up on, like without warning of that kind of thing would be strange. It would be out of the ordinary.
Like, what are you doing? Hi.
How did you get here from Little Rock? Huh?
I walked.
I walked. It was a long walk.
Google Maps said it'd take 18 hours, but I forgot it was on the drive setting and not the walk setting.
Jeez.
This is where I've been the last 2 weeks, trekking north through the U.S.
That's why we haven't done a show in 2 weeks. Marcone's been walking to Wisconsin.
I have stories.
Oh yeah. We laugh about it, but these are things that can actually happen for people who are in a position of content creation. And the scary, I think the other part about it is that, and the situation with Elheim talks about it. A stranger shows up at his doorstep uninvited. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that, with he had his fiance and his baby inside the house, and this young man shows up on his doorstep, and he tries to talk to him to help him like through what's going on. And, and even offers to like get him an Uber and a hotel room for the night, even though this young man said that he was either going to stay with Elheim or he was not going to, it was stay with him or not. And I look at this and I'm like, we'd all be like, why did you not call the police, dude? And he even says after the fact in the article, he says, I should have just called the police. And it's in our nature to try to be polite, to try to be accommodating, try to be, these are people that are, considered your fans. And so you want to be kind. And I'm like, I'm looking at that going, and, instinctually, I would say, why the hell didn't he call the police? But something like this happened to me. And I was still accommodating to try to help this person, even when they violated the pact of privacy. And that's what happened. Like, this guy found Elheim's address that was not given out in public, and went and found his address, traveled across the world to show up at his house to stay with him uninvited. Like, that is jacked.
Yeah. I mean, and they could have gone even further. The guy could have not been a fan, but someone who was a fan and maybe burned by him, and could have had a weapon and could have said, I don't like your streams, and then stabbed him. Yeah. There's a whole host of things that could go wrong. And that's why celebrities in Hollywood, they have security systems.
Yeah.
And all this other stuff around their house, but it's not something that we think about these days, as much, because it doesn't seem, the internet doesn't seem as scary of a place as it was early on. Early on, when you couldn't see their face, you couldn't hear their voice, you don't know who that person is in chat. But now we have, all the video and audio conferencing that we can do, and we feel even more attached and friendly with people.
Yeah. So
and
think of
that can deceive us sometimes.
Right. I mean, think about from an example of celebrities that live in California or other places. They have their own property that they own, their own private property. And people really do feel like it's okay to just drive up to their homes and take pictures because that's Leonardo DiCaprio's house. And, that because Leonardo DiCaprio puts himself out there as a celebrity and a movie actor, and shows up at public events to promote his stuff, people feel like they own him. A lot of people feel like they own the right to be able to go to his house and take a picture, because they can then post it somewhere and say, I went to Leonardo DiCaprio's house. And
Shouldn't
that's
be a
not
big
okay.
deal. Why not? I've spent good hard-earned money. I have spent enough money on his movies to afford that door. So I'm going to stand by his front door and take a picture because I bought that door. It's my door. He owes me this.
Yeah.
That's what some people think. I don't think that, but
Right.
I mean, they feel that those celebrities owe them something, and they don't. They don't.
Yeah, a story that happened to Pat Crane, when we were at BlizzCon a couple years ago. There was a guy that had really, really wanted to meet Pat, very much wanted to meet Pat, and was super excited, was a big fan of his show, and he finally got the courage to walk up to Pat to say hello, and Pat was like in the middle of ready to go someplace else, and had to like, I'm sorry, I have to be somewhere, I have to go. And we got this like scathing letter, and this saying that how you've destroyed my image of you, and because you were too busy to take a picture with me. And I just looked at that, and I mean, number one, you feel horrible at the I felt horrible for Pat, because I was just like, dude, that is the worst thing, like that's the last thing you would ever want to have happen. But
yeah, you wouldn't choose to do that.
Right. But there's like this expectation that starts to happen where it's like, and this has happened like I could literally be unaware that there might be somebody over there trying to get my attention to want to take a picture with me, because I don't know. I have no idea. And they're sitting there going, I'm so nervous. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to approach her. I don't know what to do. And like, I've had people shove someone in front of me and say, my friend wants to meet you. And they're like shaking in their boots. And I have to make sure. I mean, that is my biggest fear. That is my biggest fear.
Spotlight is on you right there.
Right. Like that I would actually that I would do something to like upset this person unintentionally because I had no awareness of that they were there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's so different. Like when a star, like a celebrity, like let's talk about Leonardo DiCaprio. He goes to a premiere event. He is working. He is like, he is there for the fans. He's like, waving to them, taking, that kind of thing. That's one thing. But he's walking down the street trying to go get his groceries somewhere, and you want to run up and take a picture with him.
Yeah.
It's like, I still don't understand the expectations of people that have for our, like, especially in the United States, the celebrities. I feel for them.
Oh, I mean, it's idolization. They put these people on pedestals, and they're just people. Like I know I've told it before, but a few years ago I was in Louisiana and I was eating dinner, and the Robertsons from Duck Dynasty, their shop is like a mile down the road, and they were eating dinner at this nice restaurant where I was having dinner, and they had two sets of fans come up during their meal. I mean, and they're just at a table having dinner.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's cool. I'm not gonna bug them, because they're eating.
Yes.
They're not at an event. They're not at a fundraiser somewhere where they're working and are professionally available.
Yeah.
They're just going through their day to day. And so, a lot of people do respect that. But we have this culture of celebrity idol worship and of I've got to get a picture. No one will believe me unless I get a picture. I was listening to Chris Pratt the other day. He said before that he doesn't really like to do selfies because it takes them out of that moment of just meeting another human being.
Yeah.
Whereas it's not for you necessarily. It's so you can brag to your friends online that you met Chris Pratt.
Yes.
Now, me personally, I would love to take pictures. Yeah, Mammoth summed it up. Pixar, it didn't happen. Exactly. And I want to take a picture with a celebrity, and I'm not. I'm going to put it online, but I want it primarily for me.
Mm-hmm.
Even before, sharing around pictures of the internet, I've got pictures with me and like the astronaut Story Musgrave, because he's one of the most prominent astronauts of the shuttle era, and he's one of my inspirations of loving space, because he's such a great guy, and I just want to take his picture with him. But Chris Pratt is saying, hey, if someone asks him for a photo, he's like, how about a handshake instead? Because that's personal. That's like more a more intimate, like person to person thing, and interacting with people, instead of here's this mountain wall of a celebrity who I'm going to stand. It's like going to Washington D.C. Of course, you're going to take your picture by the monument, but do you really care? Like, you don't have a personal connection with it. It's kind of the same thing,
right?
Like, and it kind of I'm not saying celebrities have it bad, but some of them I can imagine feel like they're just used.
Well,
because sometimes they're just objects. They're just used to stand next to me and take this picture, and then not another word. That's why I always like to, whenever I meet a celebrity, I'll ask them a question or something. Like the first time I met Panzer Trade Chat, I asked her about what her favorite mountain wow was, and just made conversation, because I was in the line to get my autograph and picture with her, but I wanted to connect with her on a personal level for a second, and just and I love doing that when we talk to people at BlizzCon and wherever. It's like, I just like to talk to people and like to learn more about them, and and that's because that's what people are. We're people. We're not objects. Chris Pratt is not an object. He's a good looking guy. He's a hunk of meat right there, but he's still a person. He's still a person.
Yeah.
So they, it's just one of those things. Like, I love meeting celebrities, and at those voice actor panels, I keep it simple. I smile, and I'm very thankful for the work they do. And I ask them a goofy question or something, not just put my phone in their face like, hey, do the voice of that character from 20 years ago that you don't remember.
Yeah.
Because that was like 85 characters ago.
Yeah.
Now, if they bring it up, like the guy who does Duratan also voiced Rat Trap in Transformers, Beast Wars, and Beast Machines, he brought that up. And so I mentioned it when I talked to him.
Yep.
And then he just slipped right into it, and we joked and laughed, and he talked about it for a second. And that was cool.
Yeah.
But just come on. A lot of people are so demanding of celebrities. They're just like, I've bought your stuff. I paid for your house. You owe me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You owe me a picture by your front door, or I'll jump in your backyard and swim in your swimming pool because I paid for that.
Right.
You didn't. You paid to be entertained.
Will Wheaton did a blog post about something very similar to that. And it was, I read it and I was just like, he finally just stood up and said, I don't owe you anything. And because he was having people just manhandle him for signatures on photos and things like that, and then yell at him when he couldn't sign anything because he was literally late for an event that he was heading to. These people waited for him outside and waited for him to come, and then they wanted him to sign stuff. And it was this obligation, same thing. It was like, they were like, we waited for you. We waited to see you. And it was like, it became a transactional deal for these people. Like, we spent our time to wait to see you, not knowing that he has a contractual obligation to be at some place and needed to get there. And it was a really, really good read. It was a really good read. Memeth just linked it in the chat room if you guys want to look at it. So I thought about that, and it changed forever the way I would ever perceive a celebrity. If they are there for a public appearance, like you go to a Wizard World Comic-Con and they're out there signing photos for money, like they're there to do that. That's different. That's how they supplement their income sometimes. Right. Like I can't wait to meet some people. Like, there's some conventions I want to go to and meet people and get a picture taken, because I know that's even better than going to their movie or something, because you're putting money in their hand directly. Yes. And
saying, here's some money. I think you're awesome. Oh, you're going to I'm going to get a picture too. That's cool.
Exactly. So here's an example of something that happened to me when I started doing podcasting. It was the early days of podcasting, and why I am now forever changed in how much information and how open I am to people that I don't have familiarity with. There was a member of this community years back, and I think at the time we had been doing like call-in shows or things like that at the time, and so when we did call-in shows, we shared our Skype information with people within the community. And so there was a listener who had my Skype information. It was a male, and he there's a general like etiquette when it comes to Skype that I mean, I everyone who I've dealt with Skype is followed the same etiquette. You just don't call people out of the blue. If you're going to call them on Skype, you've made an arrangement to talk to them on Skype, and or you message them in text before you've offered or asked to call them. Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty general, you know.
I think that's fair, and that's just being considerate. You know, hey, you know, was like the other day, like last week, I called Jules while I was at work in the middle of the day because I was trying to work through something about the new job, and I just needed some advice. And so I was like, hey, she offered, and I was like, hey, is it cool if I call you now? And so I just called her.
Yeah, I mean.
But we made it arranged beforehand.
Yeah.
You know, I just didn't just call her out of the blue. And I mean, as close of friends as we are, I would still text first.
Right. I mean, we're dear friends. I send Pat a message before I call him most of the time. Like, it's just like, are you able to talk on the phone? Because, you know, I mean, and I work with him every day, but I still send him a message to say, are you okay to talk on the phone for a minute? So with that in mind, and knowing the etiquette of the way things tend to be, this person would just literally call me on Skype out of the blue when he wanted to talk to me. And I did not answer. I did not answer that call when it came through because it was weird. It was strange. Like, I don't really know you, and I'm in the middle of something. I'm not about to just pick up your phone call on Skype. And it happened several times. And I never answered. And so he started to send messages through text chat in Skype. And one night, it was like maybe it was a weekday, somewhere around 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. He sent me a message in Skype, and he told me that he needed to talk to me immediately because he was very drunk, and if he didn't talk to me, it was likely that he was going to take his own life. And so I got on a Skype call with this person. And as he had said, he was very drunk, drinking straight from a bottle of vodka. And he told me things about his life that I never asked to know. He told me that he was suicidal, that he wanted to kill himself. And I was the only thing that could keep him alive. And I am not trained for that. I am not. I don't have formal training for anything like that. The only thing I could do was I could beg him to just, please, could you? I'm going to give you information. You got to call somebody. You have to get some help. I can't. I'm not the person who's supposed to be here to help you. There's so many people out there who can help you. Please don't do this, you know. And it was hours of this. It went until almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Again, on a weeknight when I'm working, I have to work the next day, and I couldn't disconnect because I was afraid. I was afraid that this person was going to do something and it would be my fault. And eventually, I think he passed out. I mean, he was literally drinking a full bottle of vodka, and so he passed out. And I was, you know, just praying that he was going to be okay. You know, in the morning, I checked to see, you know, are you still with us? And it destroyed me. I was so distraught because I did not sign up for that. I'm a podcaster. I'm a podcaster. I am not a mental health professional. I don't do that. And I felt violated because I didn't ask for that responsibility. And then I tortured myself over weeks and I I said, I just need to disconnect my Skype from this person. I can't do this anymore. And I agonized over that too, because I felt like it was going to make me a terrible person, that I didn't want to be there for this person who I didn't know. I didn't even really know them. And it is an experience that I've never told this publicly until I did talk about this on Slaying Demons on Tuesday. This is the first time I've ever spoken of it publicly. I've never told anybody except for dear friends that what happened. And it is a very, very sobering thing to be put in a position of that kind of, like, I did not know this guy. And all of a sudden, because of my status in his mind, I was the only one who could save him. And that was horrible.
That wasn't the arrangement.
No, it was not. It was not what I had agreed to as part of, of that. And, so, and, you feel like a terrible person for not wanting to help. And I had to come to terms with the fact that that was not an agreement that I had made willingly. I had, I chose to get on a call with him because he threatened to kill himself if I didn't. I mean, that's when you get down to the brass tacks and you're like, that is not okay. It is not okay. And so it changed me forever. It changed the way that I approach people. It's like, I'll be friendly to anybody who wants to approach me, but when it comes to getting to know them personally, it takes a long time for me to feel comfortable with that.
And that's the safe way to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so
I mean, good for anything. I mean, for or like showing up on your doorstep stuff. Even that's just it's good protocol,
right?
To keep it like. Sometimes listeners try to friend me on Facebook because they find me, and I don't accept it because you don't know me that way. You haven't sent me a Twitter like, hey, is it cool? There's been a couple of people that have said, hey, is it cool if I friend you on Facebook? And I know them. I've met them at BlizzCon. I talked to them. At that point, we've established something. Then that's okay because my Facebook is not my Twitter. That's why they're separate. That's why I use them for different platforms and everything because Facebook's for family and friends. Twitter's for whatever Twitter is good for these days.
It's your public facing gaming platform. I mean, it's like it's your because I mean on your Facebook you don't spend a lot of time talking about a lot of your gaming stuff. I mean, you do, but
sometimes, but it's a totally different thing. I use them for different purposes, and that's why. So
exactly.
It's kind of the same thing with BattleNet. Like I don't friend people if I don't know them or if they haven't said something ahead of time because like I don't want you to know what I'm playing when.
Yeah.
Like I don't know you. I try to get my Kool-Aid. Don't even know the flavor. Mm-hmm. I ain't about that.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it's real. This stuff does happen, and I need people to know that, like I said, 95% people are totally respectful and understand the line and get it. And there has been, I've had experiences like the one I told where I've just been put in a uncomfortable spot where I don't feel good about it. And it's hard. It's like if you are someone out there who is listening and you're like, hey, I'm really, really, really into your stuff. I like what you do. That's great. That's so cool. But you have to remember that those are human beings who have lives and things that they don't share with you outside of what they do, and that's okay. You brought this up to me a couple days ago when we were talking about this, about something we saw online said by Scott Johnson, which just blew us both away.
Yeah, and I've got it pulled up here on my phone. You want me to read it?
Yeah.
So this is from like a week or two ago. It's not Scott said, "I love my followers, readers, and listeners, strangers or not.
but tracking down my wife's phone number and calling her without warning, uninvited, and multiple times, that sits in the not cool zone. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
That is a massively understated statement.
Right?
That it's not cool. That is like that's like taking a nuclear bomb and diffusing it down to a small firecracker.
Right.
Like man, if that happened to me, I don't know that I would be as cool, calm, and collected online as Scott was.
Yeah.
I don't know if that speaks more to his professionalism or my lack thereof, but that goes either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is bananas. Like that goes into the part earlier when I was saying you have the ability to find out this information if you know where to look and what to do. But should you do that? And if you have to ask that question, odds are the answer is no.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And if there is an inkling that you think that might be okay, that's when we would recommend that you need to seek some therapy. Because there is no there's no spot in the universe where that is okay. And there's no rationalization that can be made to explain that that's okay. Ever.
Yeah, none whatsoever.
Mm-mm. So
I don't know what I have no reasonable idea why that would be okay or what thought process would conclude with me doing that. So I know it's an unreasonable thing.
Yeah.
Because like if you're just trying to talk to her or say, hey, I think you guys are awesome. You guys represent a really great family online, all this stuff. It's like, hey, that's great. Tell Scott to tell her.
Yeah.
Or fan mail for the whole, fan mail if instance has a fan mail like a PO box.
Mm-hmm.
Do that.
Yeah. But
that's great. Don't call them directly.
Yeah.
Especially if they never gave you that number.
Yeah.
Because that's wonky.
And you know what, though? If you're a content creator out there and something of that nature, if even something a tenth of that nature happens to you, you have the absolute right to stand up and say, this is not okay. I had just recently worked with somebody who was dealing with someone who was stalking them online. And the amount of times where we apologize or brush off behavior that is not normal and not okay because we're trying to be polite and we're trying to be a good person and give someone the benefit of the doubt happens way more than you think it does. Mm-hmm. And especially for women. I swear it is something that, if a guy says something to you that is not that doesn't make you comfortable, that makes you feel uncomfortable and unsafe, or it's just like, dude, that's not cool. Like, seriously, it's okay to say something about it. It's okay to call the spade a spade and say, that's creepy. Yeah,
absolutely. Because I know with, it's a little, I see it's a little bit different when it comes to Twitch streamers and female Twitch streamers, because you get, it's like an added layer of creepiness sometimes because, not trying to be stereotypical, but if a Twitch streamer is a girl in a low cut shirt, you're going to get a lot of clicks and a lot of likes and a lot of follows and a lot of donations. But with that comes a lot more potential for creepiness. Mm-hmm. And that's nothing against necessarily her. It's more to do with her fans. It's not a knock against her, on the surface. It's just like that tends to attract really creepy people because the ownership that they think they have over that person increases even more. Mm-hmm. Because, they like, I know I'm not going to get extra clicks if I take my shirt off during the show. It's going to get the opposite effect. And I will be very embarrassed, so it's not going to happen.
Well, so here's the thing about it is that that is a very different situation than
it is.
Just a girl walking down the street someplace and having some dude tell her to smile. Or have smile, your face will look prettier. Good God, people, do you know how many times I've had that said to me in my lifetime? A lot. And it is like, and I look at that and just go, like, we're raised to be polite. We're raised to be respectful of people. And then when someone disrespects us in that way, we don't speak out, or we just like let it go, or, and it's like, I just, no. Like now, if someone did what happened to me 4.5 years ago with that whole Skype call thing, I would be all of the hell no. Because I don't care anymore that way. I am not afraid to insult somebody if they are stepping over a bound. I'm not, because I've seen enough of it to know. And so I'm like, but I had to learn from it. I literally had to go through it and be on the other side of it. And there are a lot of people who are afraid to insult somebody, and because, and they don't even realize that they've been already wronged in that respect. Like, they could stand up for themselves and say, that is not cool.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I see that, and it's great communities on Twitch who are like supportive of their streamer, and so, like, especially a female streamer, a guy come in and go, she's so hot, and the chat room takes care of it themselves. The streamer doesn't have to say a damn thing. The chat room's like, that's not cool, dude. Like, that's,
yeah,
she's an awesome player. Not that she's so hot. She's an awesome player.
Well, and if you think she's hot, cool, awesome. You don't have to necessarily share it. Like, that's one of those times when it's better to say it inside your head, not outside your mouth.
Right.
And tell it to type it out to the whole chat room.
Yeah.
You're not going to win over anybody like, OMG, you're so hot. Like, she's probably heard that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And she has a guy.
Yeah.
Or a girl, and does not care.
So our friend Thist from the Lagging Balls podcast, you saw that tweet that she put out the other day.
Yeah, the one we turned into a meme.
Yeah, I mean, you
can't
guys
hide from me, female.
Yeah, so she posted a screenshot of being in WoW, and a guy sending her whispers that says, "You're a female, aren't you? I know you're a female." Like, kept whispering her, and then it says, "You can't hide from me, female." And you guys, I'm not calling you out here, but it was kind of an interesting thing. You guys turned it into a funny meme. You were making light of it with GIFs and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I read that, and my fist just went up in the air, like, and I just literally said back to her, I said, "Who in this world thinks that shit actually works?"
Yeah.
Who?
And that's the main reason why I turned it into a funny thing. Not to make light of it. That wasn't my intention at all, but it's just like, you have no game, dude.
Yeah.
You have no game. Like, that is not the way you talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That's not that's not the way you talk to ladies. Even if you were wrong and this wasn't a gal, then still, like, that's not how you talk to people. No,
and like, so that's gonna send a girl running back into your direction because you called them a female first, and then you said, "You can't hide from me, female." That seriously is gonna work for you, dude? Like, can you tell me how many times that has come into the yes column? Like, but
big fat goose egg.
It pissed me off. Wager. Like, I understand the reaction to make it funny and to make a joke out of it, but frankly, it's not a joke because it's not funny.
I know.
And and so I respect the fact that you guys were making it funny, and I thought it was awesome that because the gifts that you were doing were really funny.
Yeah,
but I got pissed.
I mean, like, if I was in the room, and if that was someone that, because I know Fist, I met her at BlizzCon, and she's awesome. But if I was closer to her and friends with her, like, if I was there and I saw that, I'd be like, that's not cool, and I would have talked to the guy. I'm like, hey, stop. Right. The only reason I made it funny, I mean, it's not to belittle it. I mean, because yes, it is serious. It is a serious thing, but somebody, at that level, where it was just this a-hole on WoW, sending her a tell. If it was somebody that was messaging her on Twitter, like, that seems to me to be another level up. If it's a text message or something even higher of a level of That's not cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't cool anyway.
Yeah.
But like you said, the gifts and stuff, and she liked them, and it wasn't like she was, at least to the best of my guesstimation, she wasn't as, it was more of a brush off thing. Like, look at this a-hole over here on the internet trying to talk to me. What a jerk.
Yeah.
Not, I'm going to run. Yeah.
My point being is that, again, it's another situation of someone thinking that someone else owes them something.
Yeah.
They don't. And
no, not at all.
And that is the crux of this entire discussion, I think, is that, nobody owes anybody. No one owes you. You don't owe anybody anything is what I'm trying to say, and I'm not saying it well. Podcasting is hard, dudes.
Words are hard.
Words are hard too. So I think we have to be more. I don't want people to be harsher necessarily in general. I just have to. I have to stress that a lot of times, especially unfortunately for women, we are nicer than we should be when it comes to things that that people feel that we owe them.
Yeah, I mean, and you definitely don't owe anybody anything, especially when it comes to that.
Right.
I mean, you just have to guard yourself, especially when you're streaming. Like, you guys don't see all of my house because you don't need to. Like, on the show, you see this wall and this closet door, and that's it, because that's all I want to show. Sometimes you'll see, like, the kitchen floor because that's where my cats are, but I'm not giving you a blueprint. You only get what I give you.
Right.
And you have to guard yourself, and especially for female gamers. And I mean, and it's a precaution that sucks to have to make, but people are creepy. People are awful sometimes.
They can be. Yeah.
And they can, and you never know. You don't know, because especially in Twitch stream, all of these people on the site, I know their names and I've seen a lot of them in person. But there's others that, if we get random people in the chat room that I don't know, they're just text. I don't know who they are. I don't know where they live, their intentions, none of that stuff.
Exactly.
And it's just this gray mist of I don't know. And you just have to be very careful. You have to be very, very careful with that.
Yeah.
I mean, all you can tell behind me is that I like Funko Pops, like Tyver's saying.
Exactly.
I live in a Funko Pop sanctuary.
The internet is a wonderful... The internet is a wonderful place. And it has afforded things to me and to us that we would have never had it not existed. But it also comes with dangers and threats. And it's good to talk about this stuff. I think it's good to raise awareness, to let people know that this is stuff like, I haven't spoken about this type of thing very much. And I think it is a good thing that we talk about it and bring it up. And I'm glad that Kotaku wrote this article, because it raises awareness of what it's like sometimes for content creators and the reaction that they sometimes receive.
Yeah. And I know it could feel for some streamers, because they don't want to damage, they don't want to lash out, I think, sometimes at this, because they don't want to damage their reputation or their viewership, because if they start losing viewers, they start losing money.
Sure.
And so they have this, in some cases, I'd imagine they have this that almost internal obligation to please their audience. And it comes to a point. It's just like when you work in retail, because I tell you what, the customer is not always right.
No, they're not.
That is BS. That rule is not correct. And this is coming from someone who is a very nice and reasonable person when I'm at work. In retail, yeah, I see customers, I talk to them, be very nice. But when they start to get an attitude with me, one guy did earlier this week, and I put him right back on his butt. Not physically, but conversationally.
Yep.
You don't, like, there was a guy saying, I've spent $1,000 in here today. You owe me this free stuff. And a buddy of mine told me this story. He was working at the counter. The guy said, I've spent $1,000 today. You will give me this for free. I spent a lot of money here. And the dude, my friend's boss, came from behind the back, came out and slammed his hand down on the desk and said, you spent $1,000. This lady spent $4,000. I had a $12,000 sale earlier today. Nobody asked for free stuff. I don't owe you anything.
Wow.
And straightened his shirt and walked back. That was a manager. And he had his buddies back, which is rare. But
yep.
that is like, we don't, yes, You come in here. Yes, you're watching the Twitch streamer. You're enjoying their content. Yes, that's great. That's what it's for. But when you step over the line and say, you owe me more. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Movie stars don't owe you anything. They make movies for a living. You watch them to be entertained. End of transaction.
Right. Exactly.
Sports stars, they play games for a living. Just like Twitch streamers play games for a living. You go and watch them live. That doesn't mean you get to follow them back into the locker room and chat with them and then follow them home, jump over their fence and play in their pool at night. No.
Yeah, it's very true.
No.
It's very true. And yeah, I think we have exhausted this topic.
We have exhausted it, but that's it does sound harsh, but them's the breaks. I mean, it's nothing to be mad about. I mean, Jules and I love talking every week, and we love interacting with our fans, and our Moo crew is amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
you guys are wonderful.
Incredible.
We are extremely fortunate for our listeners and our viewers because, we don't. I'm not playing video games in a low cut shirt. I'm sorry. But you still enjoy our content, and we enjoy you contributing because you guys are a part of it.
Yep.
But it's when you cross that line, you just have to be respectful because streamers are people. If they're full-time streamers, this is their job. And that's what they do for a living. And if you're overstepping your bounds and feeling like they don't owe you anything, they're still friendly, will still be nice and talk to you. But as you've got to be reasonable because they're still people at the end of the day. Right. Even the big name celebrities, they're still people. They still hurt and feel, they have tons of money, but if you treat them like crap, that's a bad thing to do. It's no matter who it is, even if it's the biggest celebrity in the earth who can afford therapy and can jump into a swimming pool full of money. That's more of a reflection of how awful you are as opposed to the celebrity for not allowing you into their lives. That's a reflection on, how are you so shallow and so I don't know that you must get these things from these people that you think owe you. Yep. It's just, like Quaylen said, no amount of money is worth disrespect. That's a good way to put it.
It's very, very true. And thank you guys so much for contributing in the chat room tonight for your comments, and we always welcome your feedback for the show as well. You can send that to questions@taurenThinkTank.com. And I think that does it. It was a really good discussion about this one. We're gonna lighten things up a little bit, have a little bit of fun with Tell Us One Thing this week. Yeah, let's go do some.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
So these are super lighthearted and pretty fun for this week. And boy, your responses were like avalanching in. Oh my goodness, I could not put them all in because there were just so many. So the first question we have for Tell Us One Thing this week, our little fun side of the show where we kind of find out more about each other and about you, is what's the best Wi-Fi name you've ever seen?
So mine is kind of cool. When my wife was down at grad school down in Louisiana, the neighbor across the street had Rivendell as their Wi-Fi password. And so in response, when I set up her Wi-Fi when she moved down there, I named our network Minas Tirith.
Oh.
And then I saw another one like almost out of range that was named Hobbitown. And so the whole street had like a Lord of the Rings series of Wi-Fi names. And it was really cool.
That's awesome.
I liked it. What about you?
I was waiting for someone to say this, and nobody has said it, and I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever seen, and I love it. The best Wi-Fi name I have ever seen was Pretty Fly for a Wi-Fi.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, I thought that was the best thing ever. And nobody mentioned it in our responses, which was really funny. So, but there were some really good ones that came through. Start us off with the first one.
Ili_CTR says Skynet Global Defense Network.
Mammoth said FBI surveillance van.
I've seen a couple of those.
Yep.
Nymphadora says Bill Nye the Wi-Fi. That's a good one.
Tattooed Freak said the apartments I used to live in had a Wi-Fi naming war.
Naming war the year I left. Yeah, they had a naming war.
Oh, naming war. Wi-Fi naming war. I could not understand what he was saying there. First there was not your damn Wi-Fi. Then came show enough is my Wi-Fi. Then Chillax, the cool Wi-Fi. I usually hopped on Chillax because they didn't password protect.
That's funny. Show enough is my Wi-Fi. Jane says the land before time.
A lot of people said that one.
I like that one a lot.
Black Widow said mine at my apartment used to be the rent is too damn high. My landlady's is let's be honest.
Joss sa's ours is not the Wi-Fi you're looking for. In honor of Star Wars Day.
Oh, I love it. Night Vale says ours used to be get off my LAN.
And continuing on with the Star Wars, Tauren says my hubby named ours the Wi-Fi Strikes Back.
This next one is my favorite from Toric. We named my friend's network Yell Penis to get password. It makes for some funny ice-breaking moments for the first-time visitors to the house. And yes, it must be yelled and not spoken, or you get no Wi-Fi.
Oh, boy. Felix said Skynet as well.
Away from Life on Twitter said, virus detected. It was mine when I lived in a complex. I had to fix a few layman computers when that kept coming up.
Oh, boy. Spaz Wesson says one of them was called This One, Mom. Also, hide your kids, hide your Wi-Fi. But Wi-Fi.
Uh-huh.
But Wi-Fi. Best Wi-Fi there is and will ever be. And the last one is Wi-Fight when we can love. I like that one a lot.
In our chat room, Krano said, I walked around BlizzCon with the network name Alliance Camp PvP. A couple people noticed and tweeted about it. My current one is rated R for rec. Did you see it?
I think I saw it. And Gren Nagus also said the Ferengi Wi-Fi name, the Tower of Commerce as well.
That's fantastic. Those were really, really funny, you guys. Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun reading these responses when they came in. Second question, a little bit more real, a little bit more of the touchy-feely stuff. What life skill is rarely taught but extremely useful?
Oh, man. This is one I have to think about for a second because courtesy.
Yeah.
Just being courteous.
Yep.
Because I today, and just manners in general, for crying out loud. I remember watching cartoons when I was little, and if my mom's watching, she'll remember the ones that were about manners, and it just drilled into me about being, yes ma'am, yes ma'am, yes sir, no sir, all that stuff. And just being nice, because I was getting gas today after I got off work, and I was waiting in line. Apparently, this gentleman, the pump was not quite working for him, or he couldn't figure it out, and he walked in and stood in the doorway and just yelled at the lady behind the desk. And she was like, "Sir, you just need to just start it over, just reset it, and then you're good to go. It's good to go on my end. You just have to pump it." And so he came in 3 times yelling at her while I'm waiting in line, and I was like, "That's just just walk up and say, "Ma'am, is there something wrong with it? I can't quite," because I've had to do that.
Right.
Just be nice, just be courteous, be nice, for crying out loud.
I know.
It's not something you're born with. It's something you have to you have to practice, and you have to know that you're doing it. Just don't do that. It just kind of, it bothered me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff bothers me a lot when people act like that. There's no reason for it. You know, giving someone kindness and courtesy goes so much further, but it's very short-sighted of people, obviously this person is pretty unhappy in his life. He's going to stand there and yell at a stranger. But yeah, that one's hard. Yeah, and I agree.
Yeah, definitely. What about you?
For me, I think that a life skill that is rarely taught and very useful is how to be an effective leader. It is very, very easy for people to become leaders within different parts of their life, whether it's at jobs. I mean, heck, you see all the time people just get promoted because they have seniority, not because they have the general life skill or expertise to become a leader. They're just given the role. And my first leadership type of position at a employer was when I was in my early 20s, and I fell flat on my face. And it took a really good manager to teach me the ways of being a diplomatic and a leader that can be respected and not feeling like I have to be liked by everybody too. Yeah. And so that was an amazing life skill that I wish I had learned earlier, and something that they should really teach in school. It's like, come on. Yeah. Learn how to be a good leader, and it can change everything. And how
it really can, because those are, I mean, it's hard to be a leader if you don't naturally have those skills.
Right.
I'm not a natural born leader.
Even natural born leaders, though, don't know a thing about being a good one until they've actually done it. You learn trial by fire most of the time, and you can make some bad things happen as a bad leader, man. And not even know that you did it. So.
Yep.
So we asked the community, and you guys came out in force. And Eli CTR said work ethic. God, that's so true.
Very true. Mammoth says keeping things clean in a home. It's the hardest thing for me.
Magic Myth Mayhem says taxes. Yes. This is the first year I ever actually did my taxes on my own. Someone has always helped me with them before. I'm 42. This is the first time I've done taxes on my own.
I have all the info, and then I go to TurboTax, and I'm like, I just plug in numbers, and then I hit submit.
Yeah. I mean, and that was.
But even that can be a challenge sometimes.
It's not the easiest thing in the world. You have to make sure that you know what you're doing, and that you know that TurboTax exists, that you can go do it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just that there's no easy guide. It's just like, hey, you are now of the age where you have to start paying taxes, and you start paying your taxes, and somebody has to teach you this. It's a life skill that you need to know.
Yeah, it's very true. Nymphadora says cooking and basic banking skills. So like balancing your checkbook and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely agree on that one.
Tattooed Freak says common courtesy, common sense, and common decency would be the most useful life skills at all, what you said earlier.
Yes. Terra Chaos says professionalism. I swear so many problems in the professional world can be solved by just being professional about it.
God, I know.
Yeah.
How many of us have worked with immature adults? Raising our hands.
Yep.
I mean,
yes, I'm raising my hand too.
Completely immature, but of an age that they would be considered an adult, and like older than me, and still immature as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree, Tara. Night Vale says time management. We spend a great deal of time teaching kids the basic life skills in school, but we don't spend any time at all on how to manage the time you have to be the most effective. It becomes something that you almost have to learn through osmosis when you finally get out of high school and maybe head to college, where it becomes imperative depending on the courses you're taking and the way your schedule falls. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And like, when you went to school, did you live away from home? Like you lived in a dorm?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I was about an hour away from home. Yeah.
So yeah, like you go from being under your parents' wing and scheduled time to go to bed. Somebody makes your meals for you. Most likely somebody's doing your laundry for you. They're buying your groceries. And all of a sudden you are now like in a situation where you go into a dorm, and now nobody tells you when to go to bed. Nobody tells you that your assignment is due tomorrow. You got to do it all yourself. It's like, it literally is like trial by fire. Like you get thrown into it, either you sink or you swim.
Yep. It's true. And no one will know that you stayed up till 4:00 in the morning playing Magic the Gathering and D&D with your friends in the lobby of the dorm most of your freshman year. Sorry, Mom. I passed, though.
I passed.
And I made some friends. That's good.
The first time I could stay up all night long and like, hang out with my friends, stay up all night long, I felt like the guiltiest human being in the world for doing it. Because I'm like, this isn't right. I shouldn't be doing this. I know it's like, but it's like, yeah, you can. You're just going to pay the consequences for it.
Yeah.
And I did. But it's just so weird, like how jarring that transition is for anybody who goes away to college. It's kind of your mom just put a heart in the chat room. Hi, Mom.
Yeah, I saw she was watching. I saw that she was watching this. I said that.
Let's see.
Yeah. See.
I'm scanning this because we had some repetitiveness here.
Yeah.
Oh, Torek says, skepticism. I live by the phrase, as if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Seems to be a lot of people these days that just believe everything at face value. This is a really good one.
Yeah, it really is. Sure, you've got your things, but be open to skepticism and seeing something from the other side.
Right.
Whenever I always try to see both sides of the story, and it makes people upset sometimes because I can't just be, yeah, that's how it is too, and just agree with them. Like, but what about this? And it kind of, they want a cheerleader. They don't want somebody to problem solve sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's why people get into really bad situations financially when they're offered something free, and then they realize once they've gotten into it that their free thing is actually that they've signed up on their credit card for a monthly subscription that they get a free month of. And I remember being a kid, and I don't know if you this may date me a little bit, but the Columbia House stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
If you are not familiar with this, when we were kids, we used to get the things in the mail that said you could get like 8 CDs for a penny. And, you were like, that's awesome. That's amazing. And then you'd sign up for it. And it was like, well, you did this and you get all of these free CDs. And then you've got to buy like a bunch more in order to fulfill the obligation of getting those free ones.
Yep.
And when you're a kid and you're young, it's like you think, oh, this is amazing, but 20 free CDs, that's amazing. I got screwed on that deal. And everybody in the chat was like, I did that too.
Oh, I did. I didn't. My parents probably wouldn't have let me do that. I think I remember seeing it and asking them, and they just said no. Mm-hmm. Because they didn't want to do that.
Yep.
Speaking of financial things, Broken Bones has a very good one: responsible credit card use.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
So I guess I was very lucky in my upbringing, and when I started getting a credit card, I mean, it was drilled into me right away is that when you use a credit card, you are spending only the money that you are going to pay off at the end of the month. Like, you are going to always pay that off. You never, ever buy something on credit to pay off the minimum balance. And that was so crazy to me. I mean, I knew what it was. I knew you could do this. And I have, in my life, I have never done it. I've only bought things on a credit card that I would be paying off on the end of the month. And so it has saved my credit in my lifetime. Mm-hmm. But people it's this like heady feeling like all of a sudden you have free money. You can just buy whatever you want, put it on credit, and pay it off over time, not knowing that you are not only paying that off, but you are paying it off with interest. And you could have literally just bought it for a lot less than you actually paid for it.
Yeah.
That basic concept is lost on so many people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a good one.
It's crazy. Solomio said, control and restraint. Many young people get a credit card and forget that you still need to pay them back, or run out and do something stupid because they were bored. A little thought for the outcome goes a long way. I see this a lot with people, especially when it comes to mental health struggles as well, depression. When you're just kind of like, I will just, spend all the money because I feel bad. And it's hard. Like, nobody really teaches you that there's consequences for that action. But man, it's so hard. Anyway, I'm keep on going on tangents. We got to keep going.
Yeah. Anwil says coping with failure. That's a good one.
Very, very good one. Adam Navox says crucial conversations and conflict resolution. Hell yes.
Amen, brother. Amen. And Chili versus the Universe says gardening, maintaining a growth mindset, and meditation.
Fame Mercurial's one is how to deal with grief. I totally agree with that one. Like,
yeah,
nobody teaches you how to deal with that. And that is like, we're all going to have to deal with it at some point in our lives. And that is, it's so true. Like, you guys like hit this on the head with your comments. And this was a really fun Tell Us One Thing week. I really enjoyed the answers to these questions.
My
goodness.
That was a good one.
It was fun. That was really fun. You guys can send in your Tell Us One Thing responses. We post them up on Twitter and Discord every week. Twitter is at Tauren Think Tank. You can find our Discord server at tinyurl.com/TTT-chat2. If you're new to the server, you just joined, say hi in one of the channels.
Yeah.
And people will respond and say hello back. And, sometimes it may take a day or two for people to kind of get caught up with everything that they're doing, but they always respond. And Tell Us One Thing is by far our most popular channel. So you can hang out there and talk to people in that channel and, start sharing your stories about the responses that are being given. It's always a great thing. Yes. I have some slash moves that I have the sinking feeling there might have been some that snuck in at the end. Would you mind checking Discord?
Sure.
Yes. So while you're doing that, I'm going to play the sounder. We start with Memeth, our slash move from Memeth. Can I get a slash move / meow for my new fur baby, Suki? She's a furry fluff ball, begging for pets all the time, and she has a forever home.
Let's see. I don't think there are any extra ones.
Okay, cool.
From Kazric, a kind of strange slash move to the MMO Final Fantasy XIV. To get through the main storyline as well as gain access to the main story and expansions, you have to do group content. Even though I'm in a guild, I'm always afraid to do this. I was always afraid to do this, so I was stuck. I slowly and hesitantly pugged some of the content, and I'm actually not minding it now. I might not be the best group player, but I'm not as fearful as I was before. And even though I'm in a guild that always offers help, I just have weird playing times, so it's easier for me to just queue up than herd cats, LOL. So, yeah.
That is a good slash move. I actually didn't know Kazric played Final Fantasy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, most definitely. Thank you guys so much for your slash moves. We always appreciate those. If you have a slash move to give to anybody within the community, please do. You can always send them over on Twitter and also on Discord. And I've gotten them on Facebook as well. You know what? There was one on Facebook that I didn't grab.
Oh,
or that I grabbed.
I didn't think.
It had to come from email, though. So I have to grab the email real quick.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I didn't think to check it. Sorry.
I didn't think to check it. Yeah, I did. And I sent it to the email to remind myself that it was there. And then I didn't do it.
I sent the reminder, but I forgot the reminder.
I forgot the reminder from Angel N. Hey, Tauren Think Tank. Can I get a slash move for my boyfriend, Dazzalot, for sticking with me through everything these past few months of moving both of our lives halfway up the country, getting new jobs, and just everything else we've been through. Love you, Daz, and love the show, guys.
Awesome.
Sorry about that. I almost forgot it, but I remembered. Yes.
I forgot it until I remembered.
I know. There's just so many avenues for people to send us stuff, and sometimes I, foil myself with the right things that I'm supposed to put into the notes. But there we go. Mark Hoden, that's a show.
It is?
We made a show.
We did it.
So exciting.
Yeah.
So what is happening? Anything coming up for you this week that you wish to speak of?
Not really. We're doing of course I started a new job. That's the big thing kind of dominating my mind right now that's a big thing. Just I don't know, just kind of just living life one day at a time.
I'm living a good life.
Yeah, getting the ball rolling on trying to get my plane ticket for Nerdtacular.
Yes.
It's getting to crunch time, and pretty soon those prices are going to start going up. So I have to get that taken care of pretty soon.
Yes.
Yeah. And so just a lot going on in the real world. Just prepping for the new job, trying to get all that settled, and not really anything else on the digital side.
Okay.
Just I need to group up and get the Officer Diva skin on Heroes or on Overwatch from Heroes. Mm-hmm. So I need to do that maybe tomorrow if anybody's on.
Yeah, your mom just pointed it out. To Guardians of the Galaxy. Are you going to go see it this weekend?
Yes, tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
I believe.
I'm going Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, I would go tonight, but we had this I have this thing that I have to do on Thursdays. Yeah, I kind of have to do those, I guess. I mean, my friend that I do it with, they might be kind of mad if I said I couldn't do it because I was going to see a movie, at the last second. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, yes.
So tomorrow.
I cannot wait.
I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm going on Saturday morning.
Yeah. At work, we released on Tuesday, I guess it was Tuesday or maybe last week, the soundtrack for Volume 2 came out.
Uh-huh.
And I picked it up. And I started to turn it around. I'm like, no, it'd be spoilers.
Yeah.
If you look at the soundtrack, I was like, no. I grab it out of my own hand. Spoiler alert! Don't do it. No, I put it down like it was hot. I was like, oh, it's hot like fire. Not gonna do it.
I'm not spoiling it for myself.
Get away from me! I forbid you to come into my mind to know what these songs are gonna be because I want to be surprised.
Okay. Well, tomorrow you will know and you will be happy about it.
Yes, and I will not spoil anything and text you unless it might be just a string of OMGs.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing it Saturday morning, around 11 o'clock in the morning. So
okay.
Yeah, so I should have my knowledge of it by the afternoon.
Well, awesome.
Yes.
Well, yeah, we can discuss it then.
Okay, cool. As for
what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to Guardians of the Galaxy on Saturday. It should be I need a very low key weekend. I need a break. I'm looking forward to watching some HTC. I'm going to be making some stuff, making some chainmail stuff this weekend. I'm really excited about that because I have a whole bunch of new stuff. New supplies
great stuff with that.
Thank you. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of new supplies in, so I'm like, I can cruise and make some really neat designs with it now. I have now class to make lanyards too, so I'm probably going to make my first lanyard soon, and yeah. I know somebody might want one.
Commissions?
I do take commissions. Yes.
I do love a good lanyard.
Well, let's talk because I've got some ideas for you.
I have one or two of them out here already. I do like me some lanyards.
I will say this. I will give this as a preview for our Kickstarter for the CTR party. Is that I will be making lanyards for the CTR party Kickstarter. There will be a commissionable thing to do in there.
Can you take my wallet right now?
But I am one of the many, many amazing artists that are going to be a part of this thing, so I'm not going to take too much credit. But I am contributing that as part, since I can't give money to my own Kickstarter. So I can donate my time and my supplies. So, so that I'm really looking forward to that. It's there's some stuff happening right now that I can't really talk about, but there is some new content stuff that I'm working on that hopefully will be ready in a couple of weeks, and I'm really excited by this. So Hopefully, I will be able to talk about it soon because I'm starting to get super stoked about it, and I can't yet. So, yeah. So I'm just gonna drop that little fun bomb. But anyway, that's all I've got for tonight. You have we have satisfied our obligation of doing a show, and for now we will bring it to a close, like we do always, like this. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can find us outside of the show on our website, that's taurenThinkTank.com, which has all of our podcasts and also some information on how to get in touch with us. You know what? We've got some Triple T merchandise still got some, folks. Got some t-shirts, some sweatshirts, some mugs, phone cases, laptop cases, bunch of cool stuff. Even little posters, I think, too. And you can find that at taurenThinkTank.com/store.
Thank you to all who support our show via Patreon. If you would like to help out Triple T and support us in what we do, you can do that at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. Want to meet other members of the Triple T community? Join our Discord server. The quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurenThinkTank. If you want to find us at 140 characters or less, you can do so on Twitter. You can find the show at Tauren Think Tank. You can find Jules at Jules RPG and Mark Conan at Mark Conan Wow.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hang out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central. You can find us on the video stream at twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank and our mobile audio stream through Alpha Geek Radio at tunein.alphageekradio.com. We love seeing you here with us, as anytime you can make it here. CTR people, go to teespring.com/Kinsman and support our limited time campaign as well. I forgot to mention that earlier. Mark Conan. Kinsman. Hey,
Kinsman Jules.
Mark Conan.
Jules.
Have a wonderful week.
You too.
Good luck on the new job this week. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. I'm nervous and excited at the same time. Oh my gosh.
You got it. It's totally awesome. You got this. Guys, we'll be back next week as well. If you have show topics to send, please do so. We have openings in our hopper as well. And this is going to run out with music. So for myself, for Mark Conan, for the entire chat room, until next time, /moo, everybody.
/moo. Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
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 5 orangutans. Chris Pratt is a hunk of meat. You aren't owed anything. You don't owe anything. Anyone anything. Mark Conan takes his shirt off. Pretty fly for a Wi-Fi.
Oh, there's some really good ones in there.
There are really good ones in their chat room. We need your help. Which ones do you like? And they don't. Some of them are too long. I will tell you that some of them are way too long. I can't have a show title to be that long.
Yeah, the Pretty Fly for a Wi-Fi. I like that one. Is that one too long?
It's okay.
Or maybe Fly for a Wi-Fi.
No, it can be. It can work because the words are short. It can work because the words are short.
Yeah, that one, or we could do a hunk of meat. Just a hunk of meat.
A hunk of meat, which could be a very good one as well. I like that too. You guys get a vote here.
Yeah.
I thought Garrus was going to jump on my lap at the end there, but he decided to jump up on the tree instead. Hi, buddy.
Yeah, you missed it, Arlene. I'm sorry. And something happened with the video, so like when we put it on YouTube, it won't show up. I don't know why.
It's going to be magically crazy. Not existing in the edit.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Somebody must have spilled like a can of Coke or something on it. I don't know. It just messes up.
A can of Coke on the digital file.
Yeah. AVI files are very susceptible to caffeine and sugar and carbonation. I can't help it.
I really do think that Pretty Fly for a Wi-Fi is one of the funniest names I have ever seen. Like, I seriously want to name mine that when I move.
Yeah.
I'm going to totally do that when I move now, thanks to this show.
Yeah.
By the way, you guys, it is coming up on the actual anniversary for our 5 years.
Mm-hmm. What day is it?
The 16th of May is
16th.
our anniversary, I believe. I keep forgetting it's either the 16th or the 18th, but it's like the third week of May.
It might be the 18th because it's dangerously close to my birthday.
It's real close to your birthday, yeah.
Yeah. Dangerously close.
Dangerously close.
Danger! High voltage.
High voltage. So, Pretty Fly for a Wi-Fi, is that what you guys want for the show title? You like that one?
Yeah.
I like that one.
Oh, man.
Y'all are funny. Y'all are funny.
Yeah.
By the way, Mammoth, your kitty is really cute.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really sweet girl.
Have a good one, Mammoth. Enjoy the pork loin and the cute kitty.
Aw.
That sounds good. I was hungry, but I ate right before the show.
Is it your birthday on next Thursday, Draven? That's awesome. Be a birthday. Birthday. Your birthday is the... Why do I not have this on the top of my head? It's the...
Happy birthday, fellow Tauren.
Yeah.
Taurus, rather. Taurus. Yes.
What actually is the day of your birthday?
19.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to make sure it's on my calendar forever. It's a Friday.
Uh-huh. It is. That's when Alien Covenant comes out, and I probably will not go see it. I'll probably watch it later.
My dad just sent me a text and said, out with cousins for dinner. Caught a small portion tail end of the show. We were watching you at the table. Hi, cousins.
I'm at the dinner table. Hello.
I don't know, Dad, I don't know if Dad's still watching, but
yeah.
Dad, if you are still watching, I got a text from cousin Stephanie, who is going to be in, they all said hello. Stephanie is coming here, coming to Minneapolis in the third week of this month. So we're going to get together and we're going to hang out. So.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That is cool. Oh. Oh. Stretchy.
Triple T pairs well with the dry red. Yeah.
Yeah. When we were doing the tell us one thing questions, Mammoth said something about being professional with people with businesses, and that's something that I wholeheartedly sign up for, because whenever I call customer service, man, I'm going to be the nicest customer they've had all week.
Yeah,
I know it's not your problem that this is messed up, and I'm not going to treat you as the person I'm going to take it out on. Now, if you cop an attitude with me, then little cracks start to appear in my facade, to be nice. Because like a customer came up to me this last week. He bought a TV from us. He got home. There was no power cord with it. It was an open box thing.
Yeah,
so
box
someone
item.
forgot to put it in there. Yeah. And I was like, hey, he came in and he's like, I need a power plug for a new Samsung. And I was like, oh, I know exactly. I had extras, because I knew where they were, because that's what I did. And I grabbed it and I handed it to my manager, and she left and she came back. She's like, are you sure this is the right one? I said, I hung up the newer model of that this week or last week. Yes, that one will fit. All Samsungs look like that. And then the guy came back again, and I had to go out of the warehouse and talk to him. And he was like, are you sure this will work? He's like, it's not long enough if I put it on the wall. And I said, well, he's like, what do I do with that then? I was like, well, then, sir, you'll just need to get an extension cord to do that.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to manufacture a longer cord.
He's like, this one's not long enough. And he's like, so you're telling me if I go to over on the wall and I look at another Samsung, that's going to be the same length? And I just like stone face. I was like, yes. And he stared me down. Well, stared me up because he was like came up to here on me. So I stared him down while he stared me up for like 5, 7, 8 seconds, something like that. And then he finally broke and he was like, okay. It's like, yes. Out of the two of us, who works in electronics? Who knows how to build these things? Yes. I'm not being mean. I'm not being mean, but I think you might need to. I was like, well, sir, did you take a picture of the port, or did you look on the back of it to see what it looked like? That way, when I show you the cord, you can say, oh, yeah, that matches the one. He's like, no, I didn't do anything like that. I just came back up here. And I was like, in the future, if you give us information, we can help you.
I know. I do that. Like, I'm like that, though. I'll take pictures of, like, the back of like a backup. Like, when I move, I take a picture of the back of my computer. So I know what cords go where and where everything got plugged into. So I'm just like, yeah, I had this all set up this way. I think about that stuff all the time. Like, snap a picture of it so you can show the person, like, what this looks like.
And as a person on the other end of that conversation, I love that. I love it when people say, hey, this thing's not working. Here's the back of my TV. What do I need? I'm like, aha. Yes.
Otherwise, you're like, I am not a TV mind reader.
Yeah. Like, do you know what model TV it is? And then they stare at me like a monkey doing a math problem. I'm like, thought so.
Where do you get your analogies from? It is so funny.
That one comes from Jeff Foxworthy, I think. Or Bill Engvall, one of the two.
Bill Engvall.
Yeah. Here's your sign. Oh. No, that monkey doing a math problem is Jeff Foxworthy. I remember that one.
That's funny. Yeah, you get it's just so very Southern, and I love it.
I have my moments. I do.
You do have your moments.
Uh-huh. Oh, geez.
All right. Let's get out of here so you can go get some sleep. I can get the show edited, posted, and I can go get some sleep myself. Yes. Thank you guys so much, chat room. You guys are amazing as always, and we will be back next week to see you again.
Yes, we will. Have a wonderful week, folks. Thank you so much for being here and for supporting us in every way you do, even if it's just listening. We love you all, and we will see you next week. Slash moo, guys.
Slash moo, everybody.
Slash moo, folks.